So we've decided that this matter will be dealt with by intermediate vote, and that has a special processing, limited number of speakers and a limited amount of time. We're going to do it. The vote is carried on the procedural motion. The vote is carried. So the intermediate process is as follows. So there are 5 minutes per speech for the movers and those who are proposing amendments. There is then a maximum of 10 speakers who can speak for 2 minutes each. And at the end of that, there are 2 replies, one from the leader of the opposition and one from the leader, and that process is set out in the Constitution. And so it is an abridged version of the ordinary general debate.
May I have the leader of the Washington and Independent Party, please, who have 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mayor. Firstly, I'd like to welcome the comments that the Council received, which sort of changed the direction of travel of this motion. The decision having, as it did, spent some considerable time on the outside realising that it's suitable as like first step forward. And that was very much the idea behind this motion, because clearly a direction of travel towards this, despite the fact that the objections were kind of thick and fast, there's a feeling that the people of Dagnam Par and were thinking that they listened to it. So that John is still here, but the friends of Dagnam Par have done a tremendous job in highlighting what was done, what the proposal was. Over a number of councillors accepted an invitation to walk down and see the area, and see the scope of the area. And one of the things that we were concerned about was that it seemed, as I said, without direction of travel, that the people that use the park, give up the time to clear up the park, think how to listen to it. What we wanted to ensure was that any consultation would be broader and wider. And so we wanted to put this to a local referendum for the people who could use and live around the park to ensure that their views were heard. As I say, things have moved on since then. We've also got around this proposal as originally determined with referendum. But one of the things that also needed to be included, which we wanted to highlight, is the impact of several things that are likely to go on in the area in terms of the impact on health. So it's not just in the park, solar panels above the house, of the railway. There is, as many of you will be aware, a proposal to improve the junction of Foot Street roundabout. And this is a major piece of work that is likely to go on the decision we take by the Secretary of State in us. And of course that area is also part of the habitat of that area. There is also just been an application accepted or granted on an appeal for a cemetery in Dagnam Par, and there's been several applications for cemeteries in neighbouring developments of that. All this has had a major impact on the habitat of the deer. And I don't know whether you're aware, but a few years ago there was a commercial shot by a car, and that was shot in Dagnam Par. The deer in that commercial with the deer that we see in Dagnam Par. So the idea, as I say, behind this motion is to ensure that the people who use volunteering with their time to properly heard, rather than the statutory minimum for any consultation simply put up a certain contact over put on the website and that would have missed an awful lot of people who travel to the park, at least a very large area. So a number of years ago, I think with the general feedback from people, members who haven't got to that park, what a wonderful space it is to be shown to do. There's ever increasing pressure on our green spaces in this park, and it's often done against the will of the people that live in the area. And what we wanted to ensure is that actually these sorts of schemes get a broader consultation. I'd like to see binding referendum on such issues as that this year. So we actually hold the local residents that you want to yes or no. There are a number of amendments to this particular motion, and I think what is most pertinent is the language of the action. We oppose to public safety in the agreement and it's let their views be heard about civilised way of seeing regard to this years, but there is a great deal of concern on this. So what I would say is, things have moved on, but if this is going to come back again, then I would urge you to support this motion today, for the referendum to the residents of all these
Is there a second after the motion, please? Thank you. Thank you. May I have Councillor Chapman, please, to move the Conservative Group amendment, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm very pleased to move the Conservative Group amendment. I'd like to start by welcoming Councillor Wade for being our support for the administration of the table. I mean, so half aside, and speaking more generally, I want to assure any residents watching that any proposals of this nature are always subject to mass individual debate. And this is where residents, this is where secondary schools, this is where businesses voice their opinions, and those comments will be considered before any decision is made. That's the noise to assure in this administration. Just by way of an example, where 12,500 units were distributed towards around Dagnam Par, 10,500 units around Birmingham's Lane. The council should use the meeting and the council's website included all the information. But these are just a number of the ways in which we engage with our residents. A lot of work on the meeting, because it's something that's very important to us. Councillor Anthony spoke earlier of the number of recent meetings that we have had over the initiative, seemingly effective in the Land Rover. It's because they're engaging with this administration that residents will have their voice heard. I think I want to focus on the wording of this motion, so I think it's very important that we delay the groundwork in the future. But we put down motions to encourage the quality of debate. I don't think we need a poll, essentially a referendum to do that. It's our job as councillors to go out, speak with our residents, and find out what they think. That is one of the fundamental principles of a representative democracy. Our residents elect us to make those decisions. They elect us sometimes to make difficult decisions. You can't simply hold every issue. It's expensive. You know, you never get the base of elected right. So we're actually doing a service to residents by going out to individual polls in individual areas of individual issues. I mean, it is simple to put down this kind of motion. I hope that in the future we'll have a perhaps slightly move away from the fence. We need to be decisive in our action. Certainly as an administration of our town, but we are decisive and we do listen to our residents. Now, note that going forward, we are going to be more creative in our approach to governments. We're initially so half the country with this one way, we're thinking outside the box. I make no apology for that fact, that we're more creative when it comes to saving and income generation. Let's have this bottom line, and frankly, our residents again elect us to deal with that. Now, traditionally, the money in local councils come from one of three places: government grants, cuts to services, or a rise in the council tax. But we need to be innovative going forward to find new ways to generate income, so that burden doesn't always fall upon the council taxpayer. As an option over all the world. The other important decisions are sometimes difficult, but we have to think carefully about what comes to those decisions, as will do our contract with solar farms. And we must take action. I'm standing here in the solar demonstration, but when I say we, I mean everyone in this room, anyone who is prepared to be accountable for our actions. We can't do just death row there's no responsibility to make decisions. So on that basis, we always small administrations may take good practice of representative partnerships.
Thank you. Councillor Davis, would you like to second the amendment, please? Thank you. May I have the move of the Independent Residents Group amendment, please?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. The meaning of the council in its words to the solar farm is more than Thank you, Madam Mayor. I've always had a bias against wind and solar farms as a business right of the landscape, and because, and this is a personal reason, they are part of a scam for man-made climate change promoted by a range of interests for different reasons. Madam Mayor, many things concerning climate, but an elementary explanation of the scam is carbon dioxide, the so-called greenhouse gas, is mostly trapped within the oceans that cover over 75% of the planet. When the sun shines during the day, the oceans evaporate, releasing CO2 into the atmosphere, and at night, use the cold CO2 sinks back into the ocean, and is the general vegetation drop. In other words, an increase in CO2 follows rather than causes an increase in temperature. Now, I know some fake groups say extreme weather proves the scam is true, but there's always been extreme weather. There's always been extreme weather in America. Even Noah said, we never used to flood like this when I was a kid. Madam Mayor, this scam matches locally due to council proposals for solar farms and on land off the rain polluting park, EU renewable energy and CO2 reduction targets to save the planet. I know the administration are mostly thinking of the potential income from the site to save local services rather than the planet, but following Brexit there is growing pressure to reduce fuel bills by abandoning EU targets, and the government as a result are reducing subsidies, particularly for ground-based solar farms, without which they won't be financially viable. Madam Mayor, as we typically Dagnam Par and were given a tour by the friendly Friends Group, and it was an eye-opener. Mixture of nature reserve, former arable land, country parks with wildlife habitat, and a swing belt land. It was difficult to see any special circumstances that would merit a solar farm, and potential income isn't a lawful special circumstance under planning law. The land in question was being added to the park as part of the Harold Hill Ambitions project, pioneered by Councillor Kelly, and was part of the local quid pro quo over the extensive house building planned for the hill. That is more housing, meaning more people, often with little amenity space, meaning the need for more amenity space elsewhere. For example, the funding for the Dagnam Park extension came from capital receipts in the Boucher Drive housing development. It would be an act of bad faith that following the extensive house building, the promised additional parkland was withheld and built on too. Madam Mayor, our amendment was submitted to provide the administration and council with a chance to think again by ensuring the environmental impact and financial viability of the scheme has been fully assessed, but also to improve the UKIP rate. Our group did not object to people being consulted, but to propose an ambiguous poll at an unknown cost is a bit dark. Because why, when money is short, spend money on a poll to see if residents want a solar farm, when we already know there is great opposition to the scheme on the hill and beyond. Madam Mayor, the council proposal would adversely impact on the environment but are intended to raise money to provide council services, including maintaining tolls. So it becomes vital to show that a solar farm will generate an income that significantly exceeds the building, running, decommissioning and operating costs before even considering whether to give it the go-ahead. Madam Mayor, for the benefit of residents in the public gallery, I would like to point out the pitfall of the Labour amendment, which can topically be called populist. Their amendment is very clear and populist, opposed to scheme. But under planning rules, if any councillor votes for it, then this will be evidence of predetermination and conclusion that voting on the matter is the administration ever put it before the planning committee. And the Labour group of two can make their populist message and vote for it because they have no members of the planning committee. That's why our group's amendment is in practice far better. Our amendment gives administration a chance to think again by fully reviewing the project, and I urge members to support our amendment. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Second the motion to reserve my right to speak.
Thank you. May I have the move of the Labour Group amendment, please, 5 minutes?
This motion is decisive. It is simple and it seeks the support for all councillors tonight to send a firm message to the executive that the solar panels should not be erected in Dagnam Par. It is site specific. Labour are not opposed to solar farms and clean energy. We believe that for climate change purposes, being energy self-sufficient and modern clean energy, solar panels are a good idea. We are not convinced by the financial aspects, however, but are willing to be persuaded. Dagnam Par is the wrong place. It is a marvellous community asset and a joy to walk and great use for recreation. Indeed, a few years ago, in a blaze of publicity, proposed area incorporated into the nature reserve was, as has already been said, part of the heraldry ambition. We are not convinced about the finances as they stack up, but there are other suitable sites in the borough that could be used. Councillor Dervish has publicly indicated that the council will not proceed with this proposal if it does not have public support. But we know that it doesn't have public support, certainly in Harold Hill. Actually, amongst the residents of Harold Hill, Councillor O'Flynn presented a petition at the last council meeting. There were 6,000 signatures. The situation was argued to be presented accordingly. We do not think as there is significant opposition, we do not think that the UKIP motion and the poll is necessary to make a decision tonight, and that will be evident to move on, not waste any further time. I agree with Councillor Webb on the fact that there are other developments. As for the Conservative amendment, and what has been announced this evening, it seems likely that a possible development will take place at this site, and we could cancel that tonight by sending that firm message. As for the Independent Residents Group motion, I agree with the point about some of the points they're making, but I do not agree with the points made by Councillor Durand in relation to climate change. Certainly there needs to be proper environmental impacts, which we haven't seen it yet. So the idea really is to accept that the public have already indicated to the administration that this proposal is not accepted locally. And why not this evening make a decision to leave Dagnam Par as it is, as it was always promised to be. I have to say that the work has been carried out by those who've been campaigning on this have been tremendous. The Friends of Dagnam Par have done some significant amount of research. And indeed, it's not just the residents that wider. Those are Friends of the Earth, other environmental agencies, all have come out to thank you. So why should we put these proposals when there are potentially other sites in the borough which could use for such a thing, which could be more environmentally acceptable, and move along with a scheme that's being proposed, which is not environmentally acceptable and has public opposition. So we're saying we want to be decisive. We can be decisive tonight and then move on to other projects and not waste the time for council here and things come back. Whatever comes back the proposal is, I suspect there will be major opposition. So why not accept, listen to what has been sold to us and vote for our motion decision?
Can I ask for a second, please? Thank you. We now move on to the general debate, and we're going to have 2 minutes each, and we're going to have 5 speakers from the administration and 5 speakers from the opposition. So, thank you. We now move on to the replies. So, Councillor Warburton, please, 2 minutes first.
Thank you. I would like to thank the leader for mentioning this evening the those who draw this scheme proposed with Dagnam Par. I think Harold Hill was suffering enough from previous decisions made by the administration with regards to how Housefield and overpopulated the area. I've lived in Harold Hill most of my life and seen the massive changes happening there. And I have been supporting Dagnam Par with a little bit of the goes over there. But I think one of the issues that we should be considering here this evening, would we be in this position now if this motion wasn't put to the council? Would we be in a position now if the Friends of Dagnam Par and the public didn't get behind this scheme? I don't think we would have been. And I think what I'm hearing tonight this evening is that going back to June the 23rd, I think we've got the same sort of story here. You know, we need democracy, we need people to want us heard. If they're not heard, then where are we? We are in democracy, we're in dictatorship, so that's the other thing.
Can I have Councillor Michael Youngberg, please? 2 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. So we don't get into this situation where we just simply repeat that which we've heard already. I'm going to keep my comments and focus them on the comments we've heard articulated in the chamber tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, this chamber is all full of adults. As adults, I want to tell you something you already know. Things need to be paid for. And the most challenging fiscal times, it is not wrong that sometimes executives come forward with ideas that may add to our funding stream. So we can avoid simply using the opportunity as an excuse to attack people who come up with ideas or views that we may not like. Having said that, I'm also concerned when we hear such things as, and I'm most appreciative of the fact we had the person who was to support Dagnam Par, UKIP group who brought this to our attention. But when they say consultation, I'm reminded of the words of Winston Churchill, who once said, consultation is just a way of the other side telling you what they've already decided upon. So, I'm always wary about that sort of thing. Number 2, another point I'd like to bring before us, referendum. Councillor Chapman referred to the fact that as we had persons who were elected and they were here to make decisions for us all, that perhaps it's not always been sensible to have a referendum. But that's exactly what they didn't do, the executive. They didn't find out what the public opinion was. They didn't find out the feelings of the public before bringing this idea before the chamber. Number 3, there is a doubt in my mind, had it not been for the opposition, for the public coming together and us letting those in charge know about you, we would not have got a favourable decision by the leader of the council telling us that they were no longer going to go ahead with this. And as I end very quickly, now I'm just point out what I call science. I heard a groan when my comment was.
Thank you. I'm flashed by so quickly. I'm just going to interrupt the questions at the moment, the debate. We're going to complete the current debate and the remaining two motions. We are not going to complete the current debate and remaining two motions, even on the intermediate debate procedure. I would therefore invite members proposing the remaining two motions to consider whether they wish to consider vote only or withdrawing their motions. Thank you, Councillor Tucker. That's it. I will be invoking the powers in paragraph 9 to manage the debate in the Olympic levy item by reducing the number of speakers and the length of debate. We will now continue with the debate on the solar farm item as previously agreed. Councillor Tucker, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, members of the council. Well, I'm a Raynham councillor and I was invited by the Arundel group who works with the manor and the animals and the farm there, whatever one wishes to call it, to go there. And I was bowled over and see the wildlife, not just the deer, but the birds, the many animals of various types. I don't know all what they were, but maybe I would learn more in the future, Madam Mayor. But what concerns me more, if this solar farm was to go ahead on this site, at a later date that would then become a brownfield site. And what happens to brownfield sites? Houses come on brownfield sites. So you have to stand strong. You don't want any, not one little bit of solar farm parks on that manor at all, not one. Madam Mayor, as a Raynham councillor, we are looking at the Lauders Lane site, and I'm not against putting the solar panels on the Lauders Lane site, but I'm in favour of supporting the Harold Hill site. And the reason why I'm not against it on the Lauders Lane site is it will stop the rubbish being dumped on there. In fact, I will give you another site, Madam Mayor, you can tell this to the Chief Executive, I'm sure he's listening, the Arnold's Field site in Lauders Lane, always being dumped on. Nice big site, you can put some more there if you wish, and you can take that away from the Harold Hill site. And what that would do, Madam Mayor, that would give you the space, the area you're looking for, and that would stop more rubbish being dumped in the Raynham area, Madam Mayor, so we could all be happy about that. Madam Mayor, like I said, it was a pleasant walk, a pleasant park. I was bowled over, I didn't even know I was in Havering, Madam Mayor. Not just the people that have moved there for that reason, not just the animals, the farm, but the quality of life, the chance to be able to come out of somewhere in Havering, not too far away, and to go somewhere you wouldn't even know you was in Havering. Why people move to this area? I say no, no, no. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Can I ask Councillor Bennett, please?
I'd like to commend the Leader of the Council and our Dog Conservative Residents Association Cabinet for showing tremendous leadership on this issue. This is a powerful example of how local representative democracy should be. I do object to the amendments by the Independent Residents Group, colleagues who I have great respect for. But in this instance, calling man-made climate change a fraud isn't just scientifically inaccurate. In a world where populism and post-truth fake news is on the rise throughout Europe and America, it's quite frankly dangerous. 2016 saw the Paris Agreement come into force, an incredibly positive act of cooperation between almost 200 countries, including the US and China, to limit greenhouse gas emissions. 2016 also saw the election of a man with the same anti-scientific worldview as this particular amendment. A dangerous man who believes climate change is a Chinese conspiracy, who was appointed a cabinet heavily influenced by the fossil fuel industry, and who's hell-bent on dismantling international agreements and alliances. As member champion for young people in Havering, I worked with Havering Youth Council in August last year to celebrate International Youth Day, where we buried a time capsule a few metres from here in the green of Town Hall entrance. The theme was achieving sustainable development, and all the young people came up with ideas of how locally we can all produce and consume within our means to tackle climate change. We've got an amazing turnout from the friends of Dagnam Par. Their passion, their enthusiasm, and their sheer determination to protect their manor is there for all to see. Harold Woodhill Park Residents Association, Councillor Wiles, Councillor Evening and myself, we raised concerns over this back in October, and we're extremely pleased at the Leeds announcement. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As quickly as I can. First of all, I would like to congratulate the administration for announcing the decision they've made here. That's one great support for solar energy, and I think the one thing the administration should do is to continue to look and explore for other sites within the borough. And certainly, I would quite close to it. I'm 100% behind the idea of the Birkins Lane site, for instance. I think more than anyone else, it's no good us politicians patting ourselves on the back, really. I think the people that need the biggest congratulations are obviously the Friends Group of the park and all the users. They didn't need a referendum, they didn't need a poll, they made their voice heard. Whether or not climate change is man-made is irrelevant really, because it's here. There have always been extremes of weather, but now they really seem to be on its sink. And I think it's incumbent on us to do our part as individuals and as a council. Finally, I'd like to say that I agree with a lot of what Councillor Joshua has said, mainly for two reasons. I mean, I think he's right about us standing up and doing the job we're here to do, which is voting. And the second reason is because he's only good at things.
Right, thank you everyone. I'd like to ask Councillor Dervish, please.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was just going to make two brief comments. The first is on the context of why this came forward. As Councillor Chapman said, being elected to represent the people means we do have to do it for all of the people of the borough, and this does sit as part of our medium-term financial strategy, and a lot of frontline services are dependent on the results of the finance that will come out of it. So I just wanted to put that context back into the room, and obviously agree with the comments of Councillor Matthews and Chapman in terms of democracy and what that means for each of us in this room. That being said, I'm very pleased that we're actually having this debate, and that our local community has become so active. One of the reasons we went out to such extensive consultation, taking all the measures that Councillor Chapman outlined in his speech, is because we do want to know what people think, and the fact that the community has become active and in contact with their councillors is a good thing. Holding the executive to account is what everyone is here for. So we welcome those comments, and the reason why I would urge everyone to support our motion is that it continues to ensure that that type of rigorous, robust consultation and scrutiny of the executive continues to ensure that we do make the right and fair decisions for the people of Havering, especially considering the context that I outlined earlier in my speech. So I would urge all members to support our motion, amendment motion. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Let me make one thing absolutely clear. You see the demonstration outside tonight. This is not a political demonstration, but it is a humanitarian demonstration. It is designed to protect the environment and the livestock of Dagnam Par. I was recently on a walk through there, and
and it was bitterly cold, and we came to a park there where there was a large congregation of deer. They were using the shelter of the trees and the bushes from both the wind and the cold and the snow. And I done something then that my regiment would have frowned upon. I retreated, rather than disturb them, because they were there, they were watchful. And this is something I want to see. I want to see regularly. I go there regularly. I want our grandchildren to see that and to enjoy it. This is part of our heritage. There can be no doubt whatsoever that if we proceed, and I'm not against solar powers, but if we proceed this, we will be destroying a large section of the environment that is to the advantage of wildlife. Not just the deer we're talking about, but in the springtime it's a breeding ground for a wide variety of birds. The community in Harold Hill has been joined by many of the residents in your own areas because they feel just as strongly as we do about protecting the environment for the future. There's a famous poet, and I've tried to dig out his name. He said, one day I looked up, and with all the destruction around, I said, where is England? Well, that may not exactly apply in Harold Hill, but we are still talking about the environment. We are still talking about protecting the future for our children. I've got 3 generations of my family who have enjoyed the pleasure of Dagnam Par. We go there regularly. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. The Leader of the Opposition, please.
Thank you, Megan. Can I just raise a point of clarification on a statement made by Councillor Black related to members of the Regulation Services how they voted? I believe it's wrong. The people should obviously have to clarify when they are the statement made by he does vote no to the prejudice of someone who sits on the Regulation Services. Madam Mayor, there was a lot of good comments being made tonight, and I can agree with those on all sides. I have to say I agree with the comments about the motion. It's right thing for the motion. But I have to say, having a poll just seems very vague, and we didn't know what the question was going to be, and whether it should just apply to Harold Hill or the whole of Harold, because it is a asset of Harold and not just Harold Hill. So, and the cost connected to that, I don't think is really viable. I could agree with a lot of what Councillor Chapman said, and yes, we do have to be innovative with looking forward, and we do know that there are going to be considerable financial pressures going forward, so we mustn't discount anything. However, apart from the first part of Councillor Durant's speech in relation to climate change, etc., I do agree with the second part of their motion in the sense that I don't believe there has been a proper financial and environmental impact that's been carried out. Certainly, when we had the members' rocket session back in October, speaking to the officer at the time, he said he was still working on a lot of the figures, and I don't think yet members have actually seen the financial side where it all stacks up. And of course, with prices, electricity prices haven't declined consistently over the past 10 years, and they're now starting to go up. We obviously need to factor that into the equation, and electricity prices are like many other commodities, they go up and down. 3 years ago this month, oil prices were just over $100 a barrel. This time last year they were just $30, so it's a 70% drop. Now, how do we know and what financial modelling is actually being carried out by this council in those kind of scenarios? So that's the cost side of it. Also, we need to bear in mind the cost to the environment, the impact on the wildlife, and of course there does appear to have been an assessment done, but there does seem to be challenges to that assessment which obviously need to be addressed. So I'm very grateful to the Leader of the Council's position statement. The rest of the position statement is useful. It's that we want to be supporting the Labour amendment. But at this moment in time, we don't believe that all the work
It needs to be done, has been done, so we can support it and over the party. Thank you very much.
Looking to the council, please.
Yes, Madam Mayor. Well, when you are in a position that we are, you have very great responsibility for the whole borough and all the things. You have to find money for the care of the elderly, for the protection of the young, to maintain the roads and all the services that the council supplies. And with the increasing funds available to us, we have to search for and put forward ways of balancing the budget. We have a legal obligation to do that. And that is not a soft task, it's very, very hard. When I've spoken to people about this project, even those who are vehemently opposed to it, they do accept the reason why it's been put forward, and they accept that that's a task which we have to undertake. But as has been said, in undertaking that task, we're very, very conscious of the views of our local residents, and we balance up those views with the ultimate decision. A poll, even under the most recent legislation, is only advisory, it's not binding. Indeed, the Supreme Court found another type of referendum wasn't binding on the decision making. So ultimately, the decision comes back to us. We have to take a decision whether we go ahead or not. A poll would not add anything in any event to this particular situation, because we've had a very healthy response. And it was in light of that response that I have gone to great lengths to examine the points they've been making, both in relation to examining all the facts and figures, but also personally we visited the site, a site which I have to say I first went to when I was 5 years old, so my knowledge of the area goes back a long, long way. But I think you have to bear in mind that we have to do things in a very measured and responsible way, and whilst I have made it plain that we've come to the view that what is currently proposed is too large, and we're not satisfied with regard to the actual environmental situation and the lie of the land. We are examining any alternative possibilities, and we're not ruling those out at the moment. However, as I've already mentioned, it's my hope and intention to finalise this matter by the next council meeting to announce what our decision is by that time. And if we decide at that stage that it is not viable or desirable in all the circumstances, I will say so, and that will be an end of it. We will obviously be looking at sites elsewhere, and I'm very grateful to those members who mentioned potential sites, because we do need to try and generate this into revenue. Business cases have obviously been worked out, otherwise this wouldn't come forward at all. But the business financial situation varies from time to time. At the moment, the project was not expected to come to fruition for 2 or 3 years on the basis that the energy costs would in fact be taken at the most appropriate time, and that applies to the project working time if it goes forward. So the business case really is examined from time to time on a basis depending upon what the facts and circumstances are. Indeed, the cost of providing the panels, the availability of any government subsidies, all these factors are taken into account in an ongoing review of the business case. But what we do know is that there is a national acceptance of a policy for the need for alternative energy. This council and all our schools are huge consumers of energy, and if for no other reason we were able to supply it to those outlets, then we would save very large sums of money, and we would also be able to supply it to other public bodies. So it's work in progress. We don't think the poll would be of any value. We ask the council to give us a bit more breathing space to examine the details further before coming back with a final position and to ask the residents to accept what we're doing in the utmost good faith and to thank them for their response and also for the courtesy which they showed with us.
Can we now vote first on the Conservative Group amendment, please? Vote now. Has everyone voted?
Conservative Group amendment is carried by 28 votes to 13.
Okay. Can we now vote on the Independent Residents Group amendment, please? Vote now. Everyone voted? We have to count, please.
The Independent Residents Group amendment is not carried by 43 votes to 3.
Okay. Can we vote now on the Labour Group amendment, please? Vote now.
The Labour Group amendment is not carried by 29 votes to 17.
Are you prepared to accept the substantive motion, which is in the wording of the Conservative Group amendment without a division? Yeah, vote then, please. Can we vote now, please? Is everyone voted?
Substantive motion in the wording of the Conservative Group amendment is agreed by 32 votes to 12.
Thank you. I'm just mindful of the time, so as I mentioned, there is insufficient time to complete the matters under the intermediate process. I therefore propose to reduce the debate as follows. The mover and proposer of amendment, 2 minutes each. Number of speakers